another episode of Driven by Christ Auto. So, it's good morning. We're back at the shop. In our last video, we recently bought a Toyota Supra from the salvage yard. And we got Jessica's 350C done. She was really ecstatic about it. And I also explained the difference between the junkyard, the barnyard, the salvage auctions, and the regular car auctions. Many different things that you can do there, but let's go ahead and take a message from our Lord before we start today. Dear gracious Father, sometimes we hear you whispering in our heart. We take great delight in you. It's hard for us to receive this blessing, but we know it's based on the unconditional love you have for all your children. Please help us to relax in the light of your presence, taking time to soak in your luminous love. We sit quietly with you while you renew us by your love. We find it terribly challenging to live in a fallen world. There is so much brokenness all around us, as within us. But we can choose moment by moment to focus on what is wrong or to seek your face and enjoy your approval. We need to remember that your delight in us is based on your finished work on the cross. This remembrance protects us from falling into the trap of trying to earn your love. Teach us to live as the ones we truly are, your beloved child, saved by grace through faith. Then our gratitude will keep us close to you, eager to follow wherever you lead us. In your loving name, Jesus, amen. Alright, so this is going to be coming from reference from this is going to be coming from Psalms chapter 27 verse 8, Numbers chapter 6 verse 25 through 26, and Ephesians chapter 2 verse 8. Alright, let's see, put that down. That's going to be the message from our Lord today. Let's see what I'm trying to remember what I was fixing to do. Alright, I remember what was going on. God, I hate having brain. Man, I've been having problems with that, dude. I keep forgetting what all was going on. Anyway, so yeah, we bought the Supra in the last video. We went ahead and washed it up. It's not in its greatest condition, but yes, it is still a turbocharged Toyota Supra, or what they call in here is a Sakura. But either way, I don't know what Jamie's doing up inside, but she's done already went up into the office, so I'm gonna let her deal with her stuff today. And let's see what we got lined up for work. Now, we do got our own personal vehicles, and we have done made enough money where we could start successfully running a auto repair business of where we buy cars, we fix them, we put them out here on the lot to sell. But I want to finish what it has to offer for the storyline, or the storyline for our business. So the next one we got on our work order here is, let's see, it's RM again. Okay, so we got a message from RM. He has got a 2000 Hinta Kagura SX, which is basically a Lancer EVO. It's a Mitsubishi Lancer. It says, "Hi, it's RM. It's time to film another episode from the renovation of my car. It's time we will be taking care of its comprehensive renovation of its suspension." Okay, this dude's like trying to use big words. I don't know why. Okay, we just need to repair some suspension work. I think it's a good idea for a longer episode. Let's roll. Okay, well, Alright, so we're going to give RM a call. I'm not really sure what all he's got going on. That was a very short message, and he's trying to use big words. Hope he ain't gotten to the sauce too early today, but either way, we'll give him a call, and we will meet him, and let's see what our car looks like outside. Alright guys, I'll catch y'all then. Wow. Okay, so first appearances, it looks like this car has really been through a lot since the last time we've seen it. I don't remember doing a Lancer EVO, but I know we've done some work for RM before. Let's see what we're working with. Oh, we are working with the turbo. Oh my lord, this thing is destroyed. Every part of this car is destroyed. Alright, there ain't even no reason to pull out any diagnostic tools on this because this thing is gone. Alright, so let's check. Jamie's got our work order loaded up on our tablet for us. Let's see what we are up against. Okay, so we need a brake job. It's gonna need, oh my lord, it's 7 pages of stuff. Front shock, inner tie rod, rear, yeah, we've got a lot. So literally everything, suspension, wheel hub. He ain't wanting to mess with the motor. Now that's kind of weird there because I don't know why he wouldn't want to do that. I guess this is just going to be a roller. They're going to use it as a stunt car. Well, I guess we won't be seeing the midst of this car no more for a while, but let's go ahead and get it moved into the shop bay. My bad, I meant to say wash bay, but either way, let's get this thing cleaned up and before we get it inside of our shop. And man, even the body is destroyed. Like every part of this is just wrecked. I don't even know why I'm cleaning it out. But we're gonna give him the DrivenByChrist special. Treat all of our customers equal. Well, at least we got the dashboard looking new again. These seats are pretty gone too. Like many Route 44s were wasted in this thing. Coverall didn't even touch it. But alright, so we got our work ahead of us on this one. It's not going to be a complete car build, but he is wanting the suspension, all the rubber bushing suspensions replaced. So let's go ahead and get it on rack 1 and start getting everything tore down. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get this thing all the way up. Alright, so we know it's going to need a full brake job for sure. Saw that in the work order. Yeah, I wonder where he finds these things. All this stuff is destroyed 1%. Like, I've never seen some parts that are this low. So we will, more than likely, we're not going to be able to replace any of this stuff. It's just, like, it's just destroyed. So, go ahead and get our CV joint puller tool out with a slide hammer, because we know we're going to need it on this. Actually, what you would do is break this control arm loose and then pull the CV joint. But, you know, that's the wonderful things about this game. Alright. Take our strut out of the top, our strut assembly. And let's go ahead and get our bearing puller. Come on. Alright. Not really sure what is going on. I'm really wanting to look at this work order list again real quick, because there's something not making any sense. This car would not even do anything. Like, I don't even know. Alright, let's see. It's time to film another episode from this time we'll be taking care of suspension. I think it's a good idea for a longer episode. Alright, I'm looking through everything. It's just all suspension parts. I don't know why we're fixing suspension on a car that looks like it's clearly not going to run. Or that's what they're going to end up doing. They're going to probably do an episode where they're going to be rebuilding this engine. They just don't want to do the other parts, you know, the suspension parts that nobody ever wants to do. Nothing but motor and performance. It's okay. Driven by Christ can handle the real mechanic work, the stuff that keeps the car going down the road. Alright. Lower control arm. Surprised the bolts are even coming loose on this stuff. There we go. Pull our bearing out. And this is an all-wheel drive too. So we're gonna have to pull. I don't think we're gonna have to pull the drive shaft. It's just mainly nothing but suspension work. Oh yeah, it would help if we undo this tie rod again. Alright, we're gonna pull this sway bar out, do the rack. Let's go over here on the other side. We're gonna do the rack and pinion too, because we're gonna have to get it off of here to do this lower the subframe down here. Alright, let's go ahead and start knocking bushings out. Now this engine's going to have motor mounts. It's going to hold it up into the rest of the car, so we can pull this subframe out without the engine falling on the floor. Well, here we go. Ready to break out the PB blaster, because I think this is past the capabilities of WD-40. Definitely PB blaster. That's what I use on my real run. Now, I'm not saying that WD-40 is not a good product, because that's what I use. Like, if you're wanting to clean down an engine and make it look brand new, get some purple power, all the stuff you can get at O'Reilly's. We'll be hitting up O'Reilly's today for sure. Somebody gonna be getting a real big wheel call ticket. So, unless I've already got the parts in stock. So on these, if you're doing an engine, since we're just tearing down suspension, y'all have been seeing that. If you're doing an engine bay, get you some purple power and spray down the whole engine bay. Try to avoid like distributors and stuff like that. You know, that could cause a mist from the cap getting moisture into it. Okay. And getting moisture into the cap and causing it to have a mist. So just avoid electronics with spraying. Now, if it's got like coil on plug, you know what, those can get wet. You ain't got to worry about that stuff. Now I'm wondering, do we need to break this back axle loose if we're just dealing with suspension? Well, all this stuff's gonna be hanging, so yeah, let's go ahead and do it. But anyway, spray down the engine bay with purple power, come back behind it with a pressure washer. That's going to break down all of your grease, any oil that's on the engine, just break it down. Now, you'll notice that the black plastics now no longer have that shine from having that protective oil coating on it that's supposed to keep down moisture. Well, think about WD-40. It's a water dispersant. So you come back behind it, and I don't suggest doing this while the engine is hot. Now, cleaning the engine off, you know, whenever you're spraying it down with purple power, you know, crank it up, let it start warming up as you're soaking it, and it helps break down some of the grease and getting the oil out of the engine bay. And when you come back behind it with a pressure washer, you don't want the engine like scalding hot, because you spraying water on a really hot engine could actually crack a head. You know, it can do some damage. So just warm is what you want. And then you come back behind it after you do that and literally spray everything down with WD-40. Now, the only thing that I wouldn't spray is like the belts. Don't spray anything on your belt assembly or your air filter if you do got a exposed K&N air filter. Although that K&N oil that they spray on them oil filters, you may be able to get away with it with WD-40. I've never actually tried to spray it on there, but I know that K&N air filter oil, You know, it's pretty much an oil base, so I wouldn't see if you. I would like to try. I think the next time I do my oil filter or my air filter, I'm going to try to do it with WD-40 and see if it has the same effects. Now I wouldn't just drown the filter in it, but you know, a light mist over it to keep water off of it is perfect. And you will be surprised. This thing will look like you just swapped a brand new engine into there, like unbelievably clean. So that was a trick that my dad showed me how whenever we was rebuilding Honda cars and people were like, "Oh my God, it looks like it's got a brand new motor," which most of the time it did have a brand new motor, but we made it look like it was like factory, brand new off of the showroom floor whenever it was first built. Like, that's how serious we done these cars. And most of the time we just cleaned up the old parts and fixed them and made them work. So, and that's exactly what we're doing here for RM. We're going to try to fix a lot of these suspension components. I don't know, guys, we may have to pull the drive shaft on here because it looks like we're going to have to pull this whole subframe out in the back. And see, the thing is, the drive axle or the rear end is actually built into this subframe. So he didn't say do anything with that, so we're probably not going to mess with it, but I know all this stuff right here we're going to have to. So let's see, pull this out because I know he said wheel bearings. Surprisingly, that wasn't rusted too. Alright, get this off there. And that. Alright. We know we're going to pull this sway arm bar out of here. And let me look at the work order just one more time just to make sure that it doesn't say rear suspension cross member. So yeah, we are pulling that too. So he wants us to pull this out. Alright, so let's drop the drive shaft, which is going to be up above the exhaust. So realistically, if we were going to do this, we would have to drop the down pipe to get it out of the way, the catalytic converter, muffler. We'd have to move all this stuff out of the way. I think we can leave the muffler hanging in the back. Yeah, it'll clear it. Alright, so now drive shaft. Alright. Ugh. It's been a while since I've made some videos on here, since we've had the shop open. We've had a lot of medical stuff going on at the house, but things are getting better. And at the same time, it's like you take one step forward and two steps back. These are trials in your life that you are going to go through. Everybody goes through them. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know why the Lord wants us to go through these things. They are learning processes, the best way as I can explain it, to see how you're going to respond whenever a problem comes. Are you going to try to figure it out on your own free will? Or you just, it's easier just to submit and just be like, pray about it and be like, look, I can't handle this on my own. You're gonna have to help me through it. You know, I ain't gonna say make some magic happen, but let your miracles happen. And normally whenever you fully submit and you've tried everything you can do, something always happens. He's never left me just in a point to where I was unable to accomplish my goal unless he did. That goal was not something that I needed to do. So you gotta take it with a grain of salt. It's his plan, not ours. We're just playing the role in it. Now we do got free decisions to free will to make our decisions, but because of that, that may be the reason why we're going through a trial. But anyways, let's go over here and see if we can't maybe save some of these brake rotors. No, they are completely gone. So nothing can be. Alright, hold up. We got some stuff we can repair. It's not very much of it. So I figured we could rebuild them CV joints. I think I already had plenty of them in stock anyways. It looks like a few brake components that was able to be rebuilt, and CV joints, brake dust shield. Oh, it is going to let us rebuild the universal joints on this drive shaft. There we go. Alright, so, yep, we are definitely going to have a pretty big order on here, but I think I got most of these parts in stock. So let's get our subframe back up underneath here, and no I don't. So we are going to have to order this from O'Reilly's. Let's go ahead and tag it, go on over here to the computer, because they're going to have to break out a truck on this one. It's a pretty big item. I don't know. They may be able to get one of their buff dudes working there to bring it across the road. $500. Alright, let's put in the wheel call ticket for it. Cha-ching. It's on its way. And for the most part of the other stuff, I should already have in storage in the back. So, we are, oh yeah, we gotta do this too. We gotta order we'll be able to catch them before they leave. We gotta get this rear cross. Nope, I do got one in stock. So let's go ahead and start in the back. So we're gonna drag this out of our storage, get it up here on the jack, and we always keep bushings in stock. So go ahead and throw some bushings in and bolt it into place, and then we can move our jack out of the way. That would be holding this in the air right now. There we go. Alright. And, oh yeah, sway bar. I think we should have some of them. Yep. See, this is a good thing. You see how quick we're going back together with this car? Because you got parts on standby whenever you order parts. You know, if you can afford to buy more than one, get more than one. But the one thing I will say is, if you're doing this, be careful when replacing these parts and make sure you're not putting your new ones on there and they don't require those to be replaced, because you could be losing money sending good parts out the door that they didn't even want replaced. So that's a thing to keep in mind on here. We already know these knuckle housings were blown out. We're going to have to order some more of them. I just saw that we only got one left. So shopping list, put in an order for that. O'Reilly's be over here. Probably get both of those at the same time. They normally hang out for me because they know I'm going to be sending in ticket after ticket instead of just doing it on one work order. It's okay. They enjoy my business. I'm a huge customer. I don't spend less than $2,000 every time I'm ordering stuff. Alright, so yep, we got those in. Wait, we got something to hold this up. Go ahead and throw our rear suspension arm in. New bushings. We run them polyurethane hardened bushings. Our Moog. Moog is another brand that we are starting to carry in our suspension products besides some of these aftermarket polyurethane. Moog is by far some of the best suspension components I've ever ordered from O'Reilly's, and just overall they take a lot of technology into their suspensions. It is not like your average suspension at all. Even though it's made for an OEM mount, it is definitely exceeds the OEM expectations for suspension components by far. As I had a little Honda Prelude that I ran this thing on the road, on the track, at the drag strip. I mean, if there was a place I could race, I was running this car. And Moog suspension, it stood up to it. I mean, all those years of bashing this car on the daily basis, and the miles I put on it on rough roads, even around like Jackson, Mississippi, and going up through Memphis, Tennessee, and stuff like that, where some of these roads you're wondering when was the last time they repaired them. It survived all of that. I mean, the suspension is just unbelievably good. So if you're looking for new suspension components and you're buying through O'Reilly's, see if they carry it in Moog. M-O-O-G, if you're not understanding my southern accent. Alright, there we go. New wheel bearing. Now that would have had to been pressed in with a tool. I wish they had like nifty little tools on here that you could put up there. Like these tools that I'm talking about, you can also rent them too. You don't have to, you're basically buying the tool outright from O'Reilly's, but you can return it and get your money back, whether it breaks or not, because those tools are made to fail. So, alright, there we go. Now, we're not going to be putting no no ceramic coated race calipers on here, because I think this is going to be they're going to want to build this car. They're going to be doing the upgrades. They're just basically wanting, Driven by Christ to take care of the parts, the suspension components. Nobody wants to mess with suspension components. They mainly want to focus on driveline and engine stuff going on. The wheels, the flashy items, stuff that everybody's trying to upgrade. But you'd be surprised, upgrading your suspension in your car makes a huge difference on how the drivability of it, how comfortable is it, whenever you're going down the road. Is it tight and sporty feeling? We're going to have to order some more of these arms too. Let me go ahead and put in an order for that. Alright, spring cap. So glad we double ordered all this stuff. Okay, our wheel hub cover. Now you would put this in, and then there would be a tool that you would put into here, and it would squeeze this bearing inside of here perfectly even. And once it bottoms out, that's it. You go ahead and slide your drive shaft in, and you're ready to bolt this thing down. These things are always getting tore up. These rear suspension arms, it's kind of like the link in there. That's where all your torque is trying to pull from on the body whenever it's going. This just allows your suspension to, hold on, as soon as it gives me my cursor back, this just allows this suspension to move up and down. But the actual torque from going back and forth, this thing is getting whooped all the time. Because your wheels are trying to spin, it's torquing up. This is basically like your torsion or your torque arm. All the rest of these components just help it move up and down with a good spring rate. New brakes, pads. There we go. Alright, and before we throw tires back on, we're gonna wait on that. Alright, so our parts just come in. Jamie just let me know she's done put them in our storage house out here, so let's go in here and go pick these things up. Just open this up for the day, access it, and there they are right there. These are some of the other broken parts we done pulled off of the car, because I do recycle them for scrap pieces, which we are up to 9,855 pieces, which is a pretty good, that's a good amount of parts broken down, I will say that. Alright, let's get these bolted in so we can get our jack out from up underneath this, because I know I wouldn't be trying to hold this thing up in the air while trying to put bolts into it. It just asks for threads to start a bolt in incorrectly, because you're trying to teeter-totter up underneath this and start it in with an impact. It never goes well. Cross-threaded bolts, and then that's going into the frame. That's some real bad stuff there. So, alright, almost done. Let's see, I think I have well, we're just gonna have to put his old rack and pinion back in. Now I do got another sway bar. No, I don't. Ooh boy. Alright, so let's go ahead and put in that order. We know that we were going to need some more of these. Just grab 6 of them. So that's $700 just for all 6 of those. Sway bar, we'll grab 4. Alright. We'll wait for that stuff to come over, and we'll put the rest of this together while we're rating. I think we do have some suspension arms already. No, we don't have them built, and they are type A. So let's go over here and assemble our strut assemblies. Which one? Type A. There we go. You definitely want to use one of these machines. I think I say it in every episode, but I mean, just seeing this machine, I know how bad pulling these loaded springs apart can be. I watched a guy out in the parking lot one day. He was trying to replace his bearing cap on here, and he was just unscrewing this thing with a socket. And whenever that thing shot off of there, it actually tore the bottom thread off of it, and it shot that bolt off of the top like it was a bullet, and it hit the side of somebody's car. Not his, somebody else's car, and it literally looked like it almost could have went through the door. Like, it split the metal, but it didn't go all the way through it. And let's just say whenever them people come outside, it was an interesting day up there at AutoZone. So, hey, this was whenever I was younger. I did not, you know, AutoZone was not my preferred choice then. Alright, so we're going to do our tie rod ends. We're going to hang our knuckles up. And we got our new strut assembly. There we go. Throw in. Nope, we're going to leave that control arm off the bottom because we do got to put in an axle. But yeah, dude, that was crazy. I heard it was like a loud pop and the spring shot off the end of it, kind of ding 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 in the parking lot, and you heard the loud thud from where that nut shot up against the side of them people's car. I was like, woo, just imagine if somebody's face was in the way of that. And that's normally what people do. They stand right over them and just unscrew them. I'm like, are you wanting to live today? Oh, wait a minute, you better catch that. I saw it. Alright, so we need to get some more rubber bushings real quick. We need them like on the fly because we are trying to get this stuff to see if we can catch them before they leave with our other suspension components. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and order a thing of 20 of each. We just go ahead and just grab 20 of each of them. That's all they normally carry. I just buy them out. They'll get some more in tomorrow on the truck. I hope nobody else needed bushings today. That's okay. They can come to DrivenByChrist Auto and we can take care of them. Well, that would be some stuff. Yeah, I need to come over here and get some bushings since you bought them all. But anyways, I don't think they would snitch on me like that at O'Reilly's. Be like, yeah, we would have them in stock, but DrivenByChrist Auto just decides to buy everything we get in one day. Greedy people. No, I'm just... Alright, so we already had a sway bar in stock, and we keep these end links in, because these things get worn out pretty quickly. These deals right here, because whenever this goes up, this is kind of like this is basically loads your strut and your lower control arm together and keeps it from moving back and forth. So these things are constantly bending. Every little bump you hit, those little ball joints inside are moving their little tails off. So something to remember whenever you're checking suspension. Those things wear out pretty quick, and they are called sway bar end links. And if they break, I mean, I've actually seen Jamie's Pontiac Grand Prix GT with a supercharger that she used to have a while back ago. It come in, or I remember working on it, and this thing wasn't even connected. It was just like dangling up underneath the car. I was like, Lord have mercy, girl, what happened here? She was like, well, I keep hearing something beating around. Yeah, it's the whole sway bar end link's broken. It was bent too. Like, she must have hit one huge pothole. Or either she let somebody else borrow her vehicle and they was just out doing the most in it. Like, let's see how fast we can run through this huge hole. Oh, wow, it's making a bunch of jingling noises. Uh-oh. Something just happened. I heard it make a noise, but I don't know necessarily what that noise was about. Alright, there we go. That is weird. I've never heard this. I never heard that noise before. I'm not sure what was going on with that. So let's go ahead and get the exhaust hooked back up now that. Alright, yep, we're working with this down pipe from our turbo, even though it looks like poop. Looks very horrible. Alright, we're going to do our middle muffler. Exhaust pipe. There we go. And these, I love the way that they got these new exhausts. They got these band clamps that go around them, and you can just unclip them. And they got safety pins where they don't come unclamped. Very easy to pull these new stainless steel TIG welded exhausts in and out of cars. Like, instead of everything being bolted, the bolts are guaranteed to break every time. They always break. Okay, so these are all the same size tires with those two lug nuts on it. Alright. Go over here, do this one. Yeah, anytime we're installing new parts, we always go in with a new hardware kit. That way somebody else don't have to deal with rusty bolts like we did. There we go. Looking good so far. I'm still wondering what that noise was about. I've never heard that noise on here before. I guess, oh, we earned another level of XP. We are now a level 44 shop. Yay. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we got that done. Let's set the car down on the ground because we are going to have to go align this car now. I don't expect this thing to even start up. So I'm going to have to go get the forklift and we're going to pull it around back. I'm going to have to borrow Jamie for a little bit. I'll see y'all in the suspension bay or the test path. Alright, so we got this thing pushed through the garage. Jamie's putting up our forklift and our little chain that we had. So I guarantee you, I don't think this thing's going to start up. If it does, it will be surprising. Oh my god, how in the world does this thing even run? If somehow this engine cranks up and runs like it's literally on its deathbed, but it cranks up and runs. Okay, so we can do our test path. Watch it not crank now. Okay. I just want to see some horsepower numbers on this thing. That's all I can think about. How this thing even cranked up. Alright, so we got 100% on the brakes. Suspension is 100%. Alright, we have completed our job. We do have, now it didn't say anything about a brake servo. Let me check the work order. Let's go ahead and do the alignment because that's going to be real important. After replacing all your suspension components, guys, unfortunately you will have to go realign your vehicle. Now some of the older cars, they didn't actually require an alignment. Whenever you put the new parts into there, it was actually supposed to perfectly align your vehicle if it did not have any adjustable components on there. Just as they wore out, you know, they would start eating the tires up. You know, it would show signs of it being bad. But guys, just for entertainment, we are going to take this thing over here to the dyno and we're going to see what type of numbers this thing is throwing down just because of the condition of this motor. I want to see. I'll see y'all in the dyno shop. Alright, I don't even think we probably just could have just ran two straps in the back and it'd probably be fine. It probably don't even produce enough horsepower to do anything. But let's get into here. Oh yeah, we need to check and see if the brake servo needed to be replaced. Now look at that, it says steering rack now. Are you kidding me? Alright, no, I want to see what the horsepower of this thing. So this thing had It had 308 horsepower at first, and let's see what it's got now in its current condition. With it barely cranking. Yeah, it's bad. It's only producing 208 horsepower. I mean, that's still pretty good for a car of its weight and magnitude at 219 foot-pounds of torque. How much does this car weigh? Let's see. It weighs 3,000 pounds. So yeah, it still moves a little bit. It ain't gonna move like it did whenever it was brand new. Man, this thing at 3,000 pounds with 300 horsepower, this thing should be moving 183,000 miles. So it still moves pretty good. It's not the fastest thing out there, but this thing just looks like it's been ragged out. But we gotta get it back on the suspension rack, because apparently he does want the rack, or we're going to have to get it back on rack 1 and replace the rack and pinion. I'll see y'all over there. Alright, so we got it in here. We got to get this thing back up in the air. Something told me the rack and pinion was going to have to be replaced, because that was part of the suspension. So we only got to take off the front tires, knock some tie rod ends loose, and we can get it out of there. It won't take us long at all. Got to remove the inner, get on the other side. I can go ahead and tell Jamie she can go ahead and give RM a call. Let him be on the way down here, because by the time we slide this out and connect the return and high pressure line, he should be about here. Unless we got to order a part from O'Reilly's. I think I keep these in stock, and Lord have mercy. Alright, so we're going to have to go over here and hit O'Reilly's up again. Let's see. Clear our search out. We are looking for rack and pinion. It's going to be in the R's. We need to go ahead and order some of them. Make sure we got those in steering rack. Okay. We're going to get about 4 of these. Woo, boy, these things are expensive. Okay. Well, we're going to order 4 of them and have them on the way. So while we're waiting on that, let's see what else we can do to kind of maybe help them out a little bit. I would try to pull the tires off. Let me see how much battery time I got left on my camera. Got 42 minutes left. Or we're in 42 minutes in, so I guess we could dress. I don't even know why I'm gonna clean up the wheels. They're probably just going to throw some aftermarket wheels on there. But either way, let's see. We do got a lot of scrap. I've already checked this. It wouldn't let us do anything over here. I'll go ahead and recondition their battery. That would be, help them out there while we're waiting on parts, because he didn't want us to mess with the engine or anything. So let's pull his battery out and go ahead and throw it on the machine and see. Wow, man, it fixed that thing real quick, son. Or either it just already had a fresh battery in it. Huh. Yeah. Well, it's only got one bad ignition coil too. So, okay. Well, they had a new battery in there. I was gonna try to help them out. Looks like they got new coolant in there. It's like everything else has been taken care of. New brake fluid. They just literally picked this thing up from somewhere. So, but anyways, let's get this thing back up in the air, and O'Reilly's is just gonna run me one across the road real quick. Let's see, they should be here by now. Let's go see if it's inside of our area. And Yep, right there. Oh, they got all four. Man, them guys are quick, son. They got all four of them over here. Alright, so. Alright, they are right across the street, so. Alright, so let's get this thing slid up into here. Now, on these rack and pinions, you would have a high pressure line from your power steering pump, and then you would have a return line going back to your reservoir. You'd have to hook all that up, plus hook the steering column in from inside of the car. But they just don't illustrate everything into this game, but I'm going to try to do my best to fill in the gap. I'm not perfect. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to end up correcting me at a lot of things. You know, oh, they could have seals that went out. You can, yeah, I know about all the seals and the valve assembly that's inside the rack and pinion that could go bad. There's a lot of things that can go bad in a rack and pinion. They just love leaking oil too. That Prelude I had, one of the boots went out on it. One of the boots got tore up, and I was down in Biloxi, Mississippi, and I got sand into it, and it ate that rack and pinion up. That thing was leaking oil like there was no tomorrow. All because sand got in that boots. If y'all see boots broken on the end of your rack and pinion, be sure to replace those as soon as possible, because the more dirt and debris you get up in there, the quicker it's going to eat the seals up in that rack, and you're going to be having to put power steering fluid in like almost every time you drive it, and then it don't want to steer right. But let's go ahead and get the car outside for RM. I think our job is done here, and we will meet him in the vehicle out front. Alright, so we got it wheeled out. RM's showed up. He's inside getting his work order from Jamie. So I really wish we could have done a lot more to this car than just doing the suspension work, but I guess he's got his own little channel. He's got his own thing going on. You know, we're thankful. You know, we're blessed with the business. So let's see what we are working with. Check this work order one more time. Everything is in the green, and whoo, that was a pretty big payment there. $11,000 to $11,248 is what we made on this, doing this suspension work. I guess that's that YouTube money for you there, son. They be paying. No, I'm just playing, but it was a pretty big job. Now, a lot of the times, man, people don't even like doing suspension work. It is the most aggravating part on here, but it is part of, you know, getting a car ready to be driven down the road. You know, if you're putting in a lot of horsepower, you do not want suspension braking, because then that's the end of your project right there. You better hope it don't cause nobody else no problems neither. That'd be a bad thing. You wanted to spend all the money on the engine, you didn't want to replace some tie rod ends, and they break and it sends you off the road down into a tree. Sometimes you don't walk away from those. So, but anyways, let's go ahead and he's gonna write us out a check, and we're gonna get our money, and we will be done with this job for today. Alright, so that put us up to $325,000. Now I'm gonna have a ton of scrap parts to do. Oh yeah, I'm looking at you. I see you. I ain't forgot about you. So we're gonna have a ton of scrap parts to break down from that Lancer EVO. Almost everything was not replaceable. I think we was able to rebuild a few components. So with that being said, we got a little bit of time that we can maybe mess with our Supra. So let's go ahead and get it moved in on rack 2. We're still gonna get the deal with the I forgot what we got, the Trackhawk killer inside. We're just gonna get it set up for a vehicle to sell. Just fix everything, nice paint job, maybe put some aftermarket wheels on it. We'll do a little bit of upgrades to it to bring it back to life. But we're gonna do a complete build onto that one too and get it ready for sale. But this car, this is gonna be a drag car for us. So I wish there was maybe a way to LS swap this car. I wonder if you can do it. No, it will not let us do it. You can do it in real life though. I've seen Supras with LS swaps before, so they're slipping on their game content right now. But either way, um, we are going to start on this eventually. I'm just going to leave it outside for right now, but let's go in here and see what we got going on with this. Now, I don't remember where we found this. I think this was a barnyard find because it's in too good of condition for it not to have been. So this was somebody's project at one point in time. Maybe looked like they were in the military, maybe part of the army. Maybe it was an army build, some army sponsored thing, but either way, we do need to get started on this vehicle because it's been sitting in here on my rack forever and it's taking up my bays. Go ahead and get it up in the air, and we'll start tearing this stuff down, and we'll get the engine pulled out of it. Basically do what we did on the Mitsubishi, but we're going to be pulling everything down. For the most part, the body looks like it's in fairly decent condition. I'm going to have to get some new seats, but we are going to upgrade the seats in here and go with some black leather, get a more customized steering wheel with more options. So this is going to be a luxury sport build here. So, but that's probably going to be on our next episode. Trying to think of what else I was wanting to go over while I'm here. So yeah, we'll go ahead. We'll start on this one, and then we will start on the Supra build. I know everybody's gonna probably be wanting to see the Supra build, but we got to get us a car that we can sell regularly. You know, a regular car, not a full-blown race car, something that the average driver can drive. But let's see what we got going on for tomorrow on our messages. Alright, so we got another Hyundai Tiburon car for our story order. It says, "Good morning. I was a victim of a road accident. My beloved sport or Tiburon must have been severely damaged. A little crate drove out of a side street and I didn't even have the chance to react. It happened so quickly." Yeah, we're talking about a buggy. Okay, so a buggy's done come out on this dude. Yeah, I've done had a buggy almost hit me going down the road with them serious storms coming through Walmart. All I saw was a cloud of smoke following up underneath the hood. When I walked out of my car, the situation turned out to be manageable. The bumper was a bit lifted and the headlamp was destroyed in spite of the strange sound from the engine compartment. I figured I'd go back home. Unfortunately, my plan, to say the least, didn't work. After driving 100 miles, what? Everything's shut down. I think that the car battery was damaged because the car didn't start at all. Check what happened and do what you can to get it up and running. The parts don't have to be new. And that's all that matters, is that they are good for the wallet. Okay, so this guy's wanting to fix his car as cheaply as possible, just get it back running with used parts. Now, see, we either fix parts all the way, or we may be able to fix these parts. So we'll get him to deliver the car tomorrow morning, and that'll be our next. So it looks like the victim of a Walmart grocery buggy. I know what happened. More than likely, it hit the front end of the car, and I guess he slammed the buggy up underneath it, probably damaged the alternator and tore a belt off, and the noises he's probably hearing is that cooling fan assembly eating up against the radiator and the shroud. So, uh, we'll pick that order up for in the morning. We'll give him a call and get him to deliver it. I think that is all that we are going to cover today, and if I get a chance, that shouldn't take us too long. It just depends on what all got destroyed. But we are going to start on this before we do the Supra. So our Trackhawk killer here. So in our and on our next episode, I hopefully have enough time to do it, because I'm getting calls like crazy for cars built by us. You know, we got YouTubers getting stuff from us, so we got a lot of people demanding, hey, do y'all got any cars for sale that y'all built? And I don't have any besides my drag car. A lot of people are wanting to buy it since it's undefeated, but we ain't getting rid of that car until we get another car that can take its place. So, but anyways, guys, that's gonna be it for this episode. It was fun, great. Hope some people learned some stuff, and the message from the Lord really reached out and touched somebody today, because I know somebody needed that most in their life. Right now, it is hard for me. I'm going through some trials like there are no tomorrow, and some of them I don't even understand. But have faith. The Lord will get you through anything that you can possibly imagine, but it all depends on how much faith do you got into it. If you believe it can happen, it will happen. If you don't have the faith in it, if you're second guessing yourself in the deepest part of your mind, it is not going to happen, because the Lord knows your mind in and out. He knows exactly what you're thinking. There is no way of hiding it. And until I got through that, until I broke that second guessing, I don't think it's really going to happen, but I'm going to ask, that's when everything's really started happening for me. But anyways, guys, I'll catch y'all on the next episode. God bless. Later.